New York City is no easy place for the weak or the infirm. It's busy, it's brash, and it's crowded, especially for someone like me living with Parkinson's. It's an incurable movement disorder that leaves me constantly at risk of tripping over my own feet or even of a bone-breaking fall. But it's a risk I'm willing to take because I'm here today to meet someone who knows more than most about the ravages of Parkinson's disease. A Canadian cultural icon whose determination to meet inevitability head-on is at once both futile and deeply inspiring. Someone who can grasp the future by the throat, even though, as he freely admits, his future is rapidly diminishing.
All right, this is an oldie, but well, it's an oldie where I come from. All right, guys, listen, this is a blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
There was a time when the name Michael J. Fox conjured up images of a boundless future. A boyish whirlwind from Canada, brimming with comic talent, always on the move and keen to carve out that future in the land of make-believe.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
With a string of hit movies to his name, an era-defining television sitcom.
Sorry, I had to answer the door myself. Our butler's off tonight.
And a talented partner and family ties co-star Tracy Pollan.
Do you mind if I wait around here for a while?
Yeah, I suppose.
Michael J. Fox had it all. Still in his 20s, he was on top of the world. But then something happened.
Michael J. Fox, one of America's best-loved actors, has decided to publicly announce that he's been battling Parkinson's
world
disease.
when he announced he has been battling Parkinson's disease
and has had it for 7 years.
Reality intruded in the form of Parkinson's disease. And after several years of hiding it from the world, Fox could no longer keep his tremors a secret.
Michael, all this week we have been hearing that you have this devastating disease, that it is life-threatening, that you are in the fight for your life.
If you see that, just kind of hum Paradise City in your mind.
It was a pivotal moment for Michael J. Fox. A weight lifted.
Oh, Jesus Christ! What the hell?
Parkinson's.
He began embracing roles on screen portraying characters with Parkinson's. And not long after, Fox began to transition from actor to activist.
What did it mean to be still?
I wouldn't know I was ever still.
It's an inspirational story, now captured in the new feature documentary, Still, a Michael J. Fox movie.
I woke up and I noticed my pinky. Auto-animated. Parkinson's disease.
For the past 30 years, Michael J. Fox has fought tirelessly against the advancing inevitability of Parkinson's. So what does a man who has everything do when it's suddenly all swept away, when fate deals him a losing hand? I'm about to find out.
Action, Michael!
Michael!
Tracy, that's great!
Tracy!
I'm not sure whether the shaking is the consequence of Parkinson's or being nervous around you. You and I have a couple of things in common. We're both Canadian. There's only a month that celebrates our births. I think I'm a month older than you. I know you're probably a Rangers fan, but that's okay because we can't all cheer for the Habs, can we?
Toronto, it's just sad. It's just tragic.
The other thing we share in common, of course, is Parkinson's. And, you released this feature documentary, and I'm curious, why now? What is it that made this the next step in your story, this documentary?
There was no major arc to it. There was no agenda. I just, David Guggenheim, the filmmaker, who is quite a record, an Academy Award for the algorithm. Yeah. He called me up, just talked about life, and I said, well, if you want to do this, we'll do it. And he said, well, here's the way I work. You get 3 objections to 3 major plot points. You can go. No, that's not my pressure. That's your pressure. I'll show up and you roll cameras. The story of me Take two.
Everyone talks now about owning their narrative. So the sad sack story is Michael J. Fox gets this debilitating disease and it crushes him.
Yeah, that's boring.
It's very affecting and very revealing, and presents you as very vulnerable too. Was that the intention?
Well, I'm not so much vulnerable, not glib and not.
It's very honest.
Yeah, just straightforward. Yeah. He did a thing. There's one question I really liked, and I was talking about the period when I quit drinking. The first couple of years of sobriety were like a knife fight in a closet. It's dark, it's scary, it's sharp. There's blood let. You don't know where you are. You know you're upside down, right side up. And he said a unique thing. He said, "What was a knife?" And it just occurred to me. The truth was a knife.
At that point, did you realize you were drinking to deal with the diagnosis, or were you drinking to deal with how you were coping?
Well, I was a Burnaby boy. I was drinking because it was Friday night, and Saturday night, and Sunday night, and Monday and Tuesday was coming, and Wednesday was around the corner. I just like to party, but then what happened was when I got diagnosed, it turned nasty. It wasn't about fun anymore. It was about exiting from the situation, exiting from relationships, exiting from responsibility, and so and Tracy's response was a big dose of apathy on her part, and it just like boredom and ennui and nothing is as complimentary as disgust. She was just done, and that shocked me into action.
There's a tendency for people to deny they have Parkinson's, to deny the effect it has on them. I mean, my daughter, I hid mine for 3 years until my daughter outed me with an essay that ended up appearing on your foundation's website. So I got edited that way. You hid your diagnosis for 7 years. And I'm curious about the effect that had on your growth and on your relationship with your wife, Tracy.
Well, initially it was terrible. So I kept the teaching for 7 years. Over the period of that 7 years, I got sober. We had more children. I grew fuller in my understanding of what it was I was dealing with, and coming to grips with one doctor said to me, "You don't win this, you lose."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And as you probably tell from the first part of the documentary, I like to win. I like to. I don't like to waste my time with stuff. I like to go after it, and so that was the dilemma I faced, was that I was gonna, if I really learned from this, I was gonna learn how to lose well, and I was uncomfortable with that at first, but then I just started to get more comfortable with that, and then I decided that the way to one of the things the doctor said to me too early on was that I had 10 years left to work. And he said, "Well, the good thing is you have 10 years left to work. I was 29 years old, and a lot of expensive real estate,
I'm sure.
stuff that I needed to take care of, and kids going to school, and so I started to work, and I worked a lot, and one of the things that I came to over time was that I didn't need to do that, and that I wanted to be with my family, and I needed to look at things that I wasn't gonna let. The big thing I learned, I was going to let Parkinsons drive the bus. You know, I can't run the bus now. I wasn't going to let Parkinsons drive the bus. So I had to learn how to deal with all that stuff.
After coming out to the world with his secret, Michael J. Fox became the unusually youthful face of Parkinson's disease.
Actor Michael J. Fox testified before Congress asking for an increase in research funding for Parkinson's disease.
I'm here to tell you that administering a successful research program is not rocket science. It's mostly common sense and the will to get things done. Thank you.
Mike.
With the help of some high-profile friends, he began focusing his energies on raising awareness about the debilitating neurological condition.
I left Spin City for a new job, finding a cure for Parkinson's disease.
Fox established his own foundation to raise money for research. But over the years, the realities of living with Parkinson's began to take their toll.
Careful with this right hand.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good. Have a seat.
Okay.
You sure?
Yeah. This is right hand. He's right.
Right. See, the core's still there. Those are obliques.
Yeah.
Right? How you feeling?
Okay.
The fight now was between Fox and the condition that was slowly eroding his independence and his very life. You know, I remember an executive producer saying to me once, slow down, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And my response was, yeah, that's fine, but I'm a sprinter. and that was good, but eventually I had to own up to the challenge that was Parkinson's. And I couldn't sprint anymore, and I can't sprint anymore. So he was right, it was a marathon.
It's hard to grasp that. It's really funny. I can't dance to save my life, but I'm one of the best dancers I know.
Yeah.
I always could dance in the sense that I love movement. I love.
Yes.
But formal kind of, you know, do the pony, do the mashed potato. I could do that, but I could move across the room in a really kind of balletic way.
Yeah.
And when I lost that, it was hugely painful. And it's like skating was really hard to get up skating. And my pain is on several levels. I mean, I don't want to fall down. I've broken almost every body in my northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
Every bone in my, I broke this, I broke. This, I replaced, I broke. This, I broke. This, I broke.
Gee, yeah. You're the evil Knievel of Parkinson's.
Yeah. and it's a, you know, don't slow down, right? I say, I'm not doing this on purpose. It's to be careful. I'm not being careful. I have this illness, this condition that doesn't recognize authority. It doesn't recognize. My brain says slow down. It doesn't care.
There are some amazingly vulnerable moments in the film, though. And the one I actually had to stop and, in a sense, recover my composure when that long shot of you walking outside with your physiotherapist, and you turn, someone is walking by and says, "Hi, Michael Fox," and you turn to say hi, and you fall.
That happened. All right, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. You knocked me off my feet.
In a heap on the sidewalk, your shoes come off, and yet you still manage to crack a joke to put that person at ease. Where does that come from? To put you at ease?
This is who I am. That's just humor is a big part of my vernacular. It's a big part. It's how I communicate. I always look at anything and say what's funny. And not only do I have a very overdeveloped sense of humor, it's sick. It's dark. People don't expect it. I have a dark sense of humor, which I really enjoy. But it's just I do feel like I want like that woman, because she said Mr. Fox. I think let's break it down a little bit. Because she said Mr. Fox, I know she knows it's me.
Yes.
I know she knows I have Parkinson's.
Yes.
I know she knows she just knocked me down. She doesn't know if I'm hurt. So I kind of feel like, well, it cost me to go, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Here's a joke to take with you. Tell your kids. I mean, it's not that hard. I think that a lot of the reaction to this movie and if I could say it, it's just boring me how people are responding to it and loving it. And I think a lot of it has to do with this toxic environment that we live in right now, with this hateful crap. And just someone saying, I'm okay, you okay?
It's an antidote.
Oh, good, here we go. Nothing I did in this movie, nothing I do in my life, is for a fact that I'm too old, I'm too tired. I can't do it. I can't make shit up. But if it's real, and then this is the easiest thing to do. and I really I like people, and I think we can figure a lot of stuff out if we just good to each other, and it has to be genuine from the heart and and of the moment, and that gets me through a lot of Parkinson's moments. Because I'm not worried about some constructed apparatus of self-comfort. I'm just living beat by beat, and it's easy. I can make that for me and those around me, the better.
Coming up, how Michael J. Fox is helping to unlock the secrets of this debilitating disease. It's a huge, huge development, and one you must be justifiably proud of. And we'll talk to Fox about what the future holds and why his Canadian connections are so important to him.
The tremendous bond I feel with Canadians. And I mean, I've done nothing to earn that.
Since becoming the public face of Parkinson's, Michael J. Fox has led the charge in the race to better understand the disease and ultimately to find a cure. In the last 2 decades, the Michael J. Fox Foundation has raised more than $1.5 billion for research and recently established an important breakthrough.
A medical discovery that could be a game changer for tens of thousands of people who are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease each year.
A test that can detect a key biomarker for the disease, a step that could eventually determine who is at risk of Parkinson's. It's a crucial development, but there is much work left to be done.
One of the things that really was exciting, and it coincided with when about 10 years in we got into this PPMI thing, we were finding a biomarker, and which is near impossible. I mean, it's literally a needle in a haystack, or a gene in a brain. But yeah, wherever genes live. Again, I plead ignorance.
It's a huge, huge development, and one you must be justifiably proud of.
Well, I say I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the people that gone through it. I'm happy that I was a part of getting them the material they needed and the people they needed. But what I'm most proud of, and I say this in every interview, I'm so sorry, you can't get anything new, but I'll try to put a spin on it. But is that because of a decision I made 20-something years ago, there's a lady who goes to the supermarket now and doesn't worry about like fumbling in a purse change or being judged. But because someone can go, that's what Michael Fox has. It gives her a little bit of space. And so for that little bit of elbow room that I've given her, I'm tremendously proud.
Good.
Okay. I just want to feel better.
Yeah.
And it seems to me I can see more clearly the things I need to do to feel better. But it's this Michael J. Fox stuff. People express to me that I make them feel better, I make them do things they might not otherwise do. And that's the most powerful thing you could ever feel, and it's a huge responsibility. And I don't want to f it up.
Right. It's okay not to be Michael J. Fox sometimes.
You've taken every stage that's been thrown at you and made as much as anyone could make of it. And that's a credit to you,
That's
right?
a gift.
That's a credit to you and the support Tracy's given you and your family.
She has this disease too, in a sense, that I do, and so much of her life. Right from the beginning, before any of this happened, I took this young actress whose career was hopping. She was doing great. She was beautiful, and I made her a single mother. I took her out of the game, and I always felt bad about that. And now here I was doing it again with Parkinson's, kind of superimposing an agenda and a trial on her that wasn't hers to endure.
You need to answer. There's like so many texts that you need to answer.
Yeah.
You need to respond to that. And you need to wait.
It gets better.
This is 4 texts from Aquina that you haven't responded to.
I know, we tried to do it last night.
So just respond to that. Haven't seen you in a few days. Love you.
And I can't wait to see you.
Can't wait to see you.
Can't wait to see you. The beach awaits you.
Okay. The beach awaits you?
And what's something to that effect?
No.
We're waiting for you on the beach. Well, I can't wait to get on the beach. Can't wait to hang on the beach with you. Can't wait to hang at the beach with you.
Right now, what does your future hold for you?
Well, I think the future, and I love pointing around that. Future is the first thing and the last thing we run out of.
Yeah.
Future, I guess when it comes down to the future is now future. There it goes. Gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
It's just like I think future to me is opportunity. Future to me is a space reserved to accomplish what you have accomplished, but want to. And that space remains reserved until you don't have it anymore. And then you don't worry about it. You agree staying on the side of the road or wherever you are. You just like you'll know when it's time not to worry about it anymore, or you won't know, which is probably better.
The subtitle of your book was "An Optimist Considers Mortality." What does that mean? What do you consider about mortality?
Well, just that this isn't an endless buffet. That at some point I go, I've had enough of the coffee jacket, and I'm nowhere near that. The very fact that I'm doing this movie and it is not me. It is as relevant as it is, and as compelling as it is to people. And the fact that my little story, whether it's the tremendous bond I feel with Canadians, and I mean I've done nothing to earn that. But that's, I mean, so many letters I get, like, fellow Canadian, we're so proud, and I mean it's tremendous, and like. It was a gift. It was one of many gifts, but that jumps out of me because all these things like hockey and pancakes,
and maple syrup,
and skiing, and goofy stuff like that. And I goofy better like Rush, like it's cool stuff. Burton Cummings. I mean, it's like Canadian stuff. That's our stuff. And I'm glad I'm still in the club.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for your battle, your fight, for all of us. And I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. It's been a real pleasure.
You look terrific, man. It was really good.
Awesome.
And looking at half the battle. Thank you,
Thanks,
Mike.
Michael.